What up, meal preppers? It's Bobby, and you guys have been asking me for meal prep for weight loss, so you know I'm gonna hook you up. It's gonna be low fat, it's gonna be low calorie, but most importantly, it's gonna be monster on flavor, because today we are making my salmon burgers with citrus, herbs, and spices, edamame crunch salad with spiced garbanzo beans and herbs, raisins, and carrots, and barbecue kale chips. The only time in life it's okay to have an addiction to chips. So if you want to join the Flav City community, subscribe to my channel. I have new meal preps every Friday, and I want you to be a part of them. For our salmon burgers, I have 2 pounds of Atlantic salmon in front of me. Now, if you want your life to be as easy as possible, ask your fish person to cube and take the skin off for you. This will save you a lot of time, and I don't know about you, I don't like butchering fish in my kitchen. So it's all about living on Easy Street because it feels so sweet. What up, Walking Dead reference? I'm gonna add 1/4 of this mixture to my food processor here. And you guys know Bobby's never seen a lemon he hasn't zested first, so go ahead and do that. Salmon and lemon are a match made in heaven. Add 1½ tablespoons of low-fat mayo. This is gonna be our binder and help our burgers come together. And then a teaspoon of Dijon mustard for some tang. Toss the lid on and blitz this guy for about 10 seconds. Now, you guys know I'm always thinking about you day and night, so if you don't have a big food processor, say hello to my little friend. I call this guy Chopper Jr. I'll put the link below in the description box over on Amazon. Now take a peek inside the processor. You want everything to be smooth and creamy for this portion of the salmon. Now grab the remaining salmon and chuck that in the processor. And now it's time to build serious flavor by adding 1 teaspoon of caper berries. Capers are the pickled bud of a flower, and they're very salty and briny, kind of like an olive. And then I'm gonna grab some smoked paprika and cayenne pepper. If we know anything about Bobby, it's that I'm obsessed with smoked paprika. I just love that smoky, earthy flavor. Let's add about 1 teaspoon of salt, and then a few cracks of pepper. Now toss the lid back on, and now is the time we want to be kind of careful and not puree this into a smooth puree. We want to make it kind of chunky monkey style, and that'll be the perfect texture for our salmon burgers. And lastly, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. That's gonna make our patties light and airy as opposed to dense and heavy. And 1/4 cup of finely sliced green onions. And then pop the lid on one last time. And literally 1 or 2 pulses, you don't wanna break this down and make it any smoother than it is. Perfect. Now, if you're doing this old school style by hand with a knife, this is the texture you want it to be. It's gonna take you a little bit of time, but I have faith in you that you can do it and make it look like that. Now, to make our salmon patties or burgers all the same size, I'm gonna use the exact same tip that I used in my burger meal prep a couple weeks ago. So take an old mayo lid jar or peanut butter lid jar and cover it with some saran wrap or plastic wrap. And then try to eyeball about 6 ounces or roughly 1/5 of the mixture here. And then just add it to the lid and just pack it in nice and tight. And because we use the plastic wrap, it just pops right out like that. And there's a reason why people are calling this the best tip on all of YouTube for a reason. Now these guys need to chill out, otherwise they're gonna fall apart when we cook them. They could go in the fridge for at least an hour, but since I'm in a hurry, I'm gonna put them in the freezer for 20 minutes and they'll firm up perfectly. So while the burgers are chilling in the freezer, let's make my edamame crunch salad. So in front of me, I have 2 cups of defrosted shelled edamame. I bought it from Trader Joe's. I love this stuff. But first, let's push this stuff aside and focus on the red onions. If you guys watch Chopped as much as I do, you know that pickling or acid can add so much flavor to a dish. Your dish was lacking seasoning and was screaming for some acid. And for that reason, you're being chopped. That was a pretty fine looking scarf if I do say so myself. So I have 1/2 cup of finely chopped red onions. Give it a quick pickle. I'm gonna squeeze over the juice of 1 lime. I'm gonna set that aside for literally 10 minutes. It'll totally take away that raw flavor and give it a nice pickle flavor. And then we love chickpeas in this house. So in front of me, I have 1 cup of canned unsalted chickpeas. So to flavor these guys, I'm gonna put on about 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and then 1/2 teaspoon each of smoked paprika and cumin, a little pinch of salt, and a couple cracks of pepper. And then just mix up the chickpeas so they're thoroughly coated in the spices. In the meantime, I'm preheating a small nonstick pan over medium heat. I'm gonna add my chickpeas. And then all I'm gonna do is cook them for about 5 minutes until those spices form a nice crust on the outside. And this is actually one of my most popular snack recipes on flavcity.com. People love this. By the way, you should totally check out my website, flavcity.com. I have every meal prep recipe I've ever done on there. You can print it, And coming soon, we're building a Bobby's Kitchen Essential page. It's gonna have all the pantry, spice items you need, hardware, pots, pans, everything to hook up all my fellow home cook rock stars out there. So after 5 minutes, check out the pan. See how the spices have really adhered to the chickpeas? Now they're done. So go ahead and kill the heat, and then you don't even have to wait for these guys to cool down. Add them to the edamame. And then I'm gonna reach for 2 tablespoons of raisins, 2 tablespoons of unsalted roasted peanuts. And just use your grater and grate 2 carrots directly into the bowl. Add a couple tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley. And now let's not forget about our pickled red onions that are gonna take this salad over the top. All I wanna do is drain off all the lime juice. I don't wanna add that. And then add it to the bowl. Plus the red onions are gonna add even more crunch to the salad. And when you call something an edamame crunch salad, it better be so loud your brain can't even think. And then to dress this edamame crunch salad, I'm gonna take the zest of half an orange. And in case you're wondering, is there one thing this guy won't zest? The answer is no. I will try to zest everything. I've even zested my finger one time. It was very painful and it did not taste good. The zest of half a lemon, about half the juice of an orange, the juice of half a lemon. And in case you're wondering again, does this guy have a color-coded juicer for every citrus known to mankind? Yes, I do. Half a teaspoon of salt, a few cracks of black pepper, and then reach for Bobby's favorite ingredient of all time, extra virgin olive oil, and put about 2 tablespoons on. And then give a big mix to this bowl of yumminess. And I wish you guys could have just heard my wife say, this is a pretty interesting salad, in a very skeptical tone. That's what happens when I don't share the recipe with her ahead of time, but we'll see how she feels after I give her a taste of this afterwards, because I'm pretty sure it's bomb.com and I'm gonna make her a believer. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's acidic, the edamame is popping. This is a low-cal, low-fat salad that you and my wife are gonna love. All right, you guys, these were in the freezer for 25 minutes, and check out the texture. They're not loose anymore. They're not frozen, but they hold their shape perfectly when you touch them. Now, it's really important to use a large nonstick pan. I'm gonna preheat it over medium heat, and then I'm literally gonna add maybe half a teaspoon of oil. The fish has plenty of oil. This is just gonna help get them nice and brown on the bottom. Now, you wanna make sure your pan preheats for 2 minutes, so as soon as these go in, they start cooking. Perfect, nice and sizzly, if that's a culinary word. Sizzly is a culinary word now. So I'm gonna put 2 more in this pan, because if you guys are loyal Flav City fans, you know we never overcrowd the pan, otherwise they're not gonna get golden brown. They're gonna stew or boil in their own juices. So these 3 will go up here. I'm preheating another nonstick pan back there. We'll do 4 to 5 minutes each side and then flip it. The burgers are just about done, but in the meantime, leave a comment below. Let me know what kind of meal prep videos you wanna see coming up. Last time I asked you guys, you overwhelmingly said breakfast meal prep and college meal prep, so I'm super curious what you're gonna say this time. All right, let's grab these guys out. They took about 4 to 5 minutes each side. Now we all know this is called GBD, golden brown and delicious. These are done, the salad's done. Now let me tell you a quick little story. When Bobby was a young little boy, he had an unhealthy obsession with barbecue potato chips. I would eat them by the bagful. Now that I'm all grown up, I eat them all by the bagful again. But this time they're barbecue kale chips, and mama ain't gonna say nothing because they're good for you and ridiculously easy to make and way cheaper than buying the ones at the health food store. This is how you do it. Tear the leaves off of 2 bunches of black kale or lacinato kale and add that to a bowl. Add some smoked paprika and ancho chili powder to a small bowl. Then go in with a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder and some brown sugar laced with a little bit of cayenne pepper. Give it a mix up. Season the kale with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half a teaspoon of salt, and then add the barbecue spice rub. Use your hands to really massage the kale leaves and make sure they're thoroughly coated in the spice rub. Arrange them in one single layer and bake them at 350 degrees for exactly 12 minutes. But keep your eye on them because they burn really easily. Do you hear that, y'all? That is crunch-tastic. Plus, this is a great way to get kids to eat greens, because the other day on the Flav City Facebook page, a lady told me she made this for her 3 kids. They had no idea it wasn't chips. The only downside possibly is you eat enough kale, you might become a hipster. The kind that go to the coffee shop, order dirty chai lattes with a double shot of espresso. Although that was a pretty sweet flannel shirt, so it's out there. Now let us build our meal prep containers. All right, I've got my glass meal prep containers here, and check out this low-cal, high-in-flavor buffet of deliciousness in front of me. So to build my containers, let's grab a salmon burger, cut it in half so it fits inside the container, and then tuck it in. A nice scoop of the edamame crunch salad, looking good. And then a healthy portion of kale chips. All 5 containers are done and looking money, and you know I'm not gonna wait. I gotta tuck into a piece of that salmon because it's calling my name. You guys, honestly, the salmon burger is so juicy, so moist. The spices, the herbs, the lemon are making it pop. And the reason why I made a salmon burger recipe in the first place is because I've never really had an epic salmon burger at a restaurant. So kind of like all things in life, if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. And dude, I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder because this is awesome. You're gonna love it. Now, for the all-important storing instructions, which you guys always have a lot of questions about, the salmon burgers can stay in the fridge for up to 3 days. If you're not gonna eat them by then, put them in the freezer. When it's time to reheat them, you could do it in the microwave, or what I much prefer to do is put them in a 300 or 400 degree oven, wrapped in tin foil for 10 to 15 minutes. They're juicy and moist and succulent every single time. Now for the edamame crunch salad, just keep it in the fridge all week long. And when you reheat your containers, don't reheat the edamame salad. Eat that cold or room temperature. It's gonna be good for 5 days. And for the kale chips, just keep them on the counter in a zip top bag all week long. Resist the urge to eat them all in one day. Make them last, or make a quadruple batch, and you're good to go. That's it, guys. Meal prepping for weight loss. Come on, has never been easier or tastier or looking this fine. If you want the recipe, it's below in the description box along with the macros. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for new healthy meal preps every single Friday morning coming at you. If you want to see 2 more super healthy meal preps, you check out the videos below. You let me know how you like them, and I'll see you next week. Until then, you do what I always tell you to do. Hashtag keep on cooking, and I'm gonna keep on eating.